final of the men's 100 meters backstroke. Hello, welcome once again from Tollcross in the East End of Glasgow from me, Bob Ballard, accompanied once again by David Santo. David, welcome along. Here we are, the penultimate day of competition, and every single final session has some intrigue, some excitement, and a good bit of variety coming up as well.
Definitely. Good afternoon to you all. So we will have 5 individual finals today, and in 4 of them we have defending world champion in the mix. Actually, probably the biggest favorites to take it. However, there is going to be a very, very tight race, and I'm really looking forward in the 200 meters individual medley for women between Katinka Hosszu and Siobhan Mary O'Connor. So we start with the 800 meter freestyle final for men, then the 100 free for women, 50 breast for men, as you mentioned, Adam Peaty featuring, then the 200 backstroke women. Semi-final is also the semis of the 50 free men, then semis of the 50 fly women, with Sarah Sjöström returning to action, 50 breast for women, and the finals of the 200 backstroke, the 200 meters individual medley, and we will have the 4x100 freestyle relay, the mixed relay, at the end of the program.
Also, what we have, the potential for, if they go through the card, is every single one of the finals, the individual finals that is, has somebody going for a hat-trick of victories, back-to-back-to-back victories.
Actually, I'm really looking forward to the 200 meter individual medley that I also already mentioned. And the 800 meter, which usually is, oh, there's Peaty getting the final instructions, I guess. So usually the 800 meter freestyle is a long event, a little bit boring, but this time I guarantee that it will not be the case with an amazingly stacked field. So 800 meter to start with that one. I think that is going to be a very, very exciting race with Valbrok, winner of the 1500, up against Romanchuk, defending champion Paul Trinieri. That is going to be fun to watch.
Yeah, on the evidence of what we saw, if we can extrapolate from the 15 to the 8, Paul Trinieri is not on quite the form we thought he might be. He is going for a hat-trick of victories, but he's probably going to be under more pressure here than he has been before.
I don't think he is the favorite anymore. It should be either Valbrok, winner of the 1500, or Romanchuk, winner of the 400 meters. But, of course, never rule out the reigning European champion, never rule out Gregorio Paul Trinieri, who is the Olympic champion of the 1500 meters. So that is going to be a very, very tight race, unlike the 50-meter breaststroke.
Yes, which probably won't be very tight. Got to take you back 24 hours, nearly anyway, to that 100 freestyle semi-final with Pernilla Blume. We were asking questions at the time. You've tried to get some answers as to why she did what she did. Let's explain in case you weren't watching last night. She flew down the first 50 and basically came to a grinding halt. And we were trying to work out what she trying to do in equivalent time trial for the 50, but she was way outside the world record, so she wasn't even close to that. And then basically stopped and then kind of started up again, by which time it was too late for her to really get the momentum to make the final. So it was all very odd. What have you ascertained from the Danes so far?
Actually, we were amazed and you know, shocked up here in the commentary position, but the Danes themselves, they were shocked as well, because they had no clue what Pernilla Blume was up to. So her personal coach is not here, but the performance director for Denmark told me that it was not the plan. So she just had to qualify easily into lane 4, lane 5 maybe. Of course, she's very fast in the first 50 meters, but she didn't even make a flip turn. So touch the wall, look around, and then come back, but finishing only 10th position. So she was far away from the 50-meter world record that could have been on her mind, but no one really knows, even in Denmark, what was on her mind, actually.
And that's so unlike her. She's a very together kind of person. You wouldn't normally expect her to do something kind of rogue like that, really strangely off the page that she did last night, but she did. That's why she won't be back. And I mentioned 3 names at the beginning of our transmission who all got a chance of winning it. And of course, she would have had a chance of winning it too, had she been in there.
because she's in top shape. She swam brilliantly in the 50-meter individual event, only to lose to Zora Sjöström by 1/100th of a second. And it could have been her title revenge in the 100 meters. So I bet she was somewhere down, beating her head into the wall.
Yeah, well, where she is today, I don't know. Whether she's actually here to witness it, I don't know. Maybe she's stayed back at the hotel. She's probably thinking, no, I'm not going to watch it on TV. I don't really want to know. Well, you know, these things happen, but it was inexplicable. And again, there was obviously no instruction for her to do that from a coach, from the Danish head coach or anything like that. But she just did, and that's why she will not be returning up against the other top names in the 100 free, which is the second final that we have coming up in a few moments' time. Here come the officials, all looking very official. So they come around the back of the chairs. Practiced that walk a few times now, haven't they? All in step. And they will get themselves into position. And here come those very, very now familiar faces. There's Zimmer. And yeah, well, that would be Jens. We got the S at the end round the wrong way, but Jens.
Yes, Christian.
And the two starters, Victor and Sam. The overseers at the end. There's Greg Hunter. And there's Alfonso. And you say his surname so beautiful. So you do it's actually not doing it. Well, you could do it yourself, but I just love the way you say it. I'll leave it to you. Okay, the 800 meters freestyle for men is where we will start the program for this Wednesday night. Busy Wednesday night in Glasgow because of the Champions League full match taking place. My congratulations on behalf of us to Hungary for an open water gold medal today.
Actually, we were expecting Krzysztof Raszowski to be good and in contention for a medal. Well, we didn't expect him to be so strong, just to pull away from the pack and play his own game and win it easily.
French are getting very excited because they got a couple of medals. And tomorrow, Jazz Carlin will go for Great Britain in her first major open water event. That's why we haven't seen her here in the 800 and the 1500 or indeed the 400 for women in Glasgow, but she'll be at Loch Lomond to do her 10K tomorrow. So the 800 freestyle for men, and it is a very competitive event. 16 lanes of this tall cross pool. Well, Marin Mogic had a very, very good heat swim, got himself right in there in lane 3. Romanchuk is the fastest. But if we look at their qualifying times, 7:49, 7:50, 7:51, and 2:753, 7:52. So it's really only about 3 seconds separating about 5 or 6 swimmers here. So we could, in effect, have a sprint for the last 100, as we often do in the longer distance events.
We could and expect the best of these guys to be way below 7:50, closer to the 7:40 barrier.
Yeah, your qualifying times. Paltrinieri has the championship record set in London when he won it 2 years ago. That time he was pursued by fellow Italian Detti, and Romanchuk finished 3rd in London.
Keep an eye on this guy, Florian Valbrot, swimming on the outside lane. He is the champion of the 1500 meters.
Ridiculous thing, actually. I just realised that only 4 seconds separate the whole field. For Italy, we'll go in 7, and we know what kind of a week they've had, so wouldn't back against him getting into the top 3. On the Damien Joly either being 2. Jan Mika finished 4th 2 years ago, so just outside the medals. Love to make amends for that this time if he could. Very impressive display by Mogic, 7:51.78, the best time he's done this year. First time he's been under 8 minutes this year as well.
He was a bronze medalist at the European Juniors this year, and here is a senior, a well-established man, Gregorio Paltrinieri, 2-time defending champion. Mikhailo Romanchuk.
Now, did he celebrate his birthday last night? That's the question.
I don't think so. He wants to celebrate today.
Yeah, wait till tomorrow night. It's all over. Put those candles back on the cake for a couple of days. Because we've got a more important thing to think about. That's winning this race. Making it 2 wins. Some are already ready to go. The more established ones are just taking their time, saying, okay, boys, you go and stand on the blocks and have a look around. But we're ready to take our time and just, when we're ready, we'll come forward. And here they come forward. Romanchuk of Ukraine in 4. Paltrinieri in 5. Well, I tell you what, looking around, good crowd. Good crowd, yeah. Nice and noisy too. Last night, I think we got the noisy crowd back in it tonight. We do need to be quiet so we can get the starter and the whistle and the referee all in synchronicity. Not they can hear me, but still. 800 freestyle for men, second longest of the pool events for the males, and there are 4 seconds separating all 8 swimmers from the heat time. So anyone, obviously, by virtue of that, could be in the mix. We're going to see how they're going to swim this, and it looks like Velbrock's gone out very quickly in lane number 1, trying to set the pace over the first 50.
Expect this time to be more than 4 seconds separating the 8 guys. Damien Joly actually had a brilliant start with a reaction time of 0.6.
This is a race where the reaction time really doesn't matter, does
count. Okay, so Velbrock, I think he has to swim his own race. Paltrinieri also not concentrating on Romanchuk. And down here in lane 8, that's Henrik Christiansen, usually with amazing backhand speed over the final 50 meters. So he has to be in contention for a medal if he keeps this pace.
European record belongs to the Italian who's not here. Set the World Championships in Budapest last year, Gabriele Detti, so 14.77, and Zhang, China World. To even think about that any longer, because that world record's not going to be in sight today, 7:32.12. But the championship record, maybe they could give that a go. At the moment, they're about a second outside European record pace. I say they, Christiansen leading from the outside lane, with Paltrinieri moving up to second place, and Velbrock up in 3rd.
This is a tactical race. All of the 8 swimmers has a tactics on his mind. However, of course, things change. And you have to adapt, and I think Mikhailo Romanchuk is the best in adapting.
Christiansen leads still, Paltrinieri still in second place. 3rd now is Romanchuk, just going above and in front of Velbrock, but there's very little to choose between the front 4 at the moment, and we'll see whether we dropped any bit. Nearest to being dropped will look to be Azarensa in 7, but still early stages. Coming up to the 250 meters mark when they get to the far end of the pool from right now. Christiansen's still going to be leading when they turn. He is from the Italian, that's Paltrinieri and Romanchuk in 3rd, so the 1, 2, 3, 4 remains as it was at 200.
And Christiansen putting in splits of 29.3, 29.2. So question is, can he hold on to this speed? Because I already told you, he will be very fast in the closing 50 meters. So it would be Romanchuk and Velbrock.
Well, we've not had, as I recall, a Norwegian medal this week.
Well, he did medal in the 400 meters, winning the silver.
I'm sorry, yes. It seems like a long time ago. But,
yeah, that was in the first day.
Yeah, exactly. He was right back on Friday. So he's the only one who has managed to get on that podium so far. He'd like to be there one more time. It will be 350 this time. We're approaching halfway in the 800 meters freestyle for men. Our leader is still the same. It's Christiansen. Second place now, there's Romanchuk, who's changed places with Paltrinieri. And in fact, they're joint 3rd with Velbrock at the moment. So 2 to 3. Negligible distance, but Christiansen is swimming it the hard way and maybe the right way from his point of view, going from the front.
Okay, Poltronieri a little bit dropping behind, but expect something to change after the halfway mark. Maybe Romanchuk to get closer to Christiansen, maybe Wellbrook to break away. But this is where things tend to change after the halfway mark.
Look at the moment of Romanchuk. It's very strong indeed. Be in and around the championship record, the way things are looking. They're on championship record pace, but they don't falter. But also, Wellbrook on the far side has suddenly started to really get into his motion.
Now look at that, Romanchuk pulling away from Poltronieri and the rest of the field. So, yes, it was him who decided to go a little bit faster after the 400-meter mark.
Wellbrook's gone with him. That's the interesting thing. We're just looking on the far side of the pool now. Again, how much he's aware of that, because he's 3 lanes up. I don't quite know, but at the moment he's trying to track him all the way. Poltronieri's not going to let him go. He's right on his feet at the moment.
With Christiansen fading away, dropping back to 4th position.
So at 500, Romanchuk from Poltronieri, from Wellbrook, from Christiansen, who I think his race is pretty much run in terms of the top 3 anyway. But the top 4 look like they're going to be competing for the 3. I can't see anybody else getting into the mix now, so we've got 4 going for 3 medals.
Actually, I think we should drop Christiansen, because the very strong first 200 or 300 meters must have taken its toll. He's already way behind.
Romanchuk with lead of about 3/4 of a second.
Right now, the fastest in the field is, guess what, Gregorio Poltronieri, the great champion, fighting his way back.
Now, how close can he get? Still pretty much on the feet. Has to go up to the trunks yet. He's getting kind of there now. For Romanchuk, lead is 3/4 of a second still. It hasn't really changed. Wellbrook is about a second behind. And perhaps Mika is going to make a move. Has he got long enough to make a move? That's the question. He's got 150 meters, so if he's going to go, he's going to have to go pretty soon.
Now it seems that it's going to be between Romanchuk and Poltronieri, just as expected on the 1500 meters, where Florian Wellbrook just scored the party.
Gap's down to 0.61, so he's taking about 14 100s outside that 50. I think he's just biding his time. I think he's just waiting, but he hasn't got long to wait, because there's a few people waiting to be campanologists down below us. Bit of bell ringing about to happen. Romanchuk will hear his first. Poltronieri right now, and in fact, if anything, Christiansen's just had a bit of a spurt up into 4th place. Is he going to put pressure on Wellbrook for 3rd? 1 and 2. I think it's Romanchuk. I can't see Poltronieri catching him now.
It is more than a body length, the advantage of the Ukrainian, who wanted to make the triple, winning the 400, 800, 1500 meters. He missed out on the gold of the 1500 meters by a very, very little margin. But this time, he will manage to win gold once again here in Glasgow.
Oh, Poltronieri was trying to make it 3 in a row. He won in Berlin, he won in London. It's not going to be a hat-trick of victories, because Romanchuk has got this. Poltronieri's trying everything he knows and every single nerve and fibre. Do you know what? Wellbrook's coming back very, very late. Probably too late to overtake the Italian. It's going to be tighter than it should have been, maybe, but the Italian will hold on for second. Our winner, however, it's 2 golds individually for Romanchuk. 7:42.96. So we don't quite see the championship record go, but he is absolutely thrilled with that. And not surprisingly, Poltronieri, followed by Wellbrook, and Christiansen got himself back up into 4th place. Yeah, we need some water left in there, please, sir. Thank you. Some more people have got to swim yet.
A huge personal best for Mikhailo Romanchuk, and a well-deserved win for the Ukrainian. He made his move at the halfway mark, so a very, very good tactics by him. He followed the tactics, and it was an easy win in the end, winning by more than 2 full seconds ahead of Poltronieri.
Fastest time in the world in 2018, too. Beating that of Zane Groff at the 7:44 in Irvine just last week.
And actually Romanchuk just missing out on the championship record by 0.6 seconds. So if you remember, he was way behind the splits of the championship record of Paul Trinieri from 2 years ago. So he was very fast closing 200 meters for Mikhailo Romanchuk.
He's been watching Adam Peaty with his celebration, hasn't he? 7:42, plays 7:45. So again, the top four were separated by about 4 seconds, but couldn't quite get a blanket all over them. And poor old Marin Mogic had by far his best swim in terms of position anyway in the heats, though he did another 7:50 to do a 7:51. Right, we love the 800 free. We really are getting the intensity up a notch or two as we get to the 100 free cell. A strange noise coming from the adjoining commentary boxes.
So 100 free. Hello, Pernilla.
Now, Federica Pellegrini sneaking in 8th place.
She's not swimming the 200 meters this time.
Somebody described her in the mix zone as a catwalk model. She always looks with poise, pristine. She gets out, everything is in place. She looks like she could go off and model something straight away.
One of the Frenchwomen, Marie Vatel, down in 7th. And here she comes.
Well, this is the unknown factor because this is, outside the Commonwealth Games, her first major senior individual final. She's done relays, we know she's done relays very well this week, but individually this is her first final. Now, this will tell us a lot about Freya Anderson. I don't think she'll freeze, and she's got a very good marker because she's got Bonnet beside her. Now, what kind of shape is Hemsker going to be in? Can she challenge Sjöström? Can she challenge Bonnet? Because if, you know, the way it looks on the scoreboard, it looks like there's going to be those three for the males. Anderson might get involved in the mix. Kamaneva might get involved in the mix. Vatel might get involved in the mix. But you think from their pedigree and their caliber, it should be the three centre lanes here. But I'm very interested to see what Freya Anderson does. Closing in on her personal best from that semi-final. Freya's best, by the way, is only 0.2 of a second inside. It's the European junior record, by the way, that she set last year. That is her personal best. Crowd are very excited, indeed I am, to see what she's going to do, because if she can get in the mix, if she can get anywhere close to the top three, then she'll be doing well. I'd say with the split she's done this week, anything is possible. Pellegrini, of course, if she found anything like her normal form, she'd be in the mix as well, but she's not quite there.
No, I don't think so. Anyway, I think it should all be about Sara Sjöström. She looks so strong.
Now, is the championship record on the threat? 52.67. We'll find out very soon. The final of the 100 freestyle for women. Bonnet, France, 4. Sjöström next to Bonnet, and then Hemsker goes in lane number 5, and immediately we're attracted to that yellow cap of the Swede in lane number 4, who's setting the trail and blazing it very much over the first 50.
However, expect Charlotte Bonnet to be very quick in the second 50 meters. She was the champion of the 200 meters, and she is absolutely in top form. Can she challenge Sara Sjöström?
Well, alongside Sjöström to her left-hand side is Bonnet, but Sjöström has about half a body length over the French woman at the moment. Freya Anderson's probably back in 4th place, but I tell you what, she's in the mix of the 100s. Can she get there? No, she can't quite. Sjöström 52.93, from Heemskerk 53.23, and Charlotte Bonnet. So kind of maybe as we anticipated, but Freya with a 53.61.
That's a new European junior record to Freya Anderson.
So new personal best for her. So that is, yeah, a quarter of a second quicker than she has ever been before. 53.61. She was closing all the time on Charlotte Bonnet. Pellegrini finishing in 5th with 54.04, but Sjöström 52.93. Not remarkably quick.
No, I expected her to be faster than that, actually. Yesterday evening in the semi-finals, she equaled her own championship record from 4 years ago with that 52.67. So now she's well outside that place. But of course, in a final, you don't have to make a new world record. You just have to win. And that is something that Sarah learned last year in Budapest, where she set the world record in the semi-finals, only to having to settle for a minor medal in the final.
Still won it by a comfortable margin in the end. Wasn't close particularly between her and Heemskerk. Here come the big boys of the 50 breast. Included amongst them, of course, is the world record holder, Adam Peaty, already with that world record from the 100, yet to be ratified, to be absolutely clear about it. It hasn't yet been ratified, but we believe it will at some point be. They've had to take a 10th off, so it's not quite as good as it was. He will be on full deck very, very short. Let's go through them. Kirill Prigada. He's been in lane 8 a lot this week.
Yeah.
He's going to swim off. He got into 8. Has made 8 again this time. And you're going to say this pretty.
No, I just wanted you to say.
No. Okay, I know you were, so I've actually broken it down. If I can actually see my piece of paper, I'll be fine then. Fabian, that's the easy bit. It is Svingenschlögl.
Well, not even close.
Svingenschlögl.
Fabian Svingenschlögl up in lane 1. Then Algernon from the Netherlands in 7. Ilya Shimanovic, 8th in last year's World Championship final in lane 2.
And with a very Slovenian sounding name, Peter Stevens.
Winner of the silver medal 2 years ago. And Adam Peaty, of course.
This man's had a really good progression through to the final. The fastest is coming next. There he is, Fabio Scazzoli. I think that's probably how it might end up too, with him trailing in behind Adam Peaty. But he knows he's got a big job to do. Has that same kind of routine, like a prize boxer, prize fighter coming out. He dodges the crowd. There's no headphones on there. Not listening to music. He is just focusing on the job in hand.
Look at the qualification times. He was more than half a second faster than anyone else in the field, which is a huge margin in a 50-meter event.
Right, Adam Peaty, Project 25, we hear, mate. None of this 26 business. Let's go 25, shall we? 25.95 is that world record. And now, I've got to say, there were some question marks about him, certainly in this event, after the Commonwealth Games, where he got beaten by Cameron van der Berg. And people said, oh, he's not invincible then, he can be beaten. And Fabio Scazzoli might go, well, I saw Cam van der Berg beat him back in April, maybe I could.
Good luck, Fabio.
Yes, good luck in that, but you know, only takes him a step off the block or something not quite work. He won't be the fastest away. He really is. Scazzoli may well be leading at 25, actually. Let's see. Adam Peaty in lane 4. Fabio Scazzoli in lane 5. In fact, Peaty is away slightly quicker than the Italian. Szilagyi a bit slower as well, so Peaty's away very well.
And now already in the lead, Adam Peaty with Stevens on lane 6 following him. But this is the margin that he usually rules breaststroke events with. Amazing speed, Adam Peaty. Let's see the time.
26.09.
Very close.
It's a new championship record for Adam Peaty. And Scazzoli does get second place. Stevens gets third, but the gap is 7/10 of a second. And here comes the splashing of the water. Maybe, I don't know, we'll see. He said he was absolutely ecstatic about the 100. A bit more reserved this time. Adam Peaty, it is a championship record. I think the splashing might come soon. Stand by. No. He's going to leave that for another day. He's got
the Manchika splashed all the water out.
Yes, right. Yeah, they're saying that we need some more put back in now. Because only in second, Stevens, who was second 2 years ago. So that's 3 in a row for Adam Peaty. Berlin, London, and now Glasgow.
And he was behind, just as you predicted, at the 25-meter mark. But from then on, it was only him against the clock. And you know what? This means that he managed to beat the whole field by 0.7 of a second over 25 meters.
That overhead shot makes it look very comfortable, doesn't it? Very comfortable indeed. And he's happy. He's acknowledging all sides. That's a bit Novak Djokovic-like, I thought, the way he did that. He's kind of acknowledging all sides there. Brilliantly done.
No one has ever been even close to this time that Adam Peaty has just run. This 26.09. Only himself better than that, maybe 2 times. So this should be ranked number 3 all time.
26.09 is a new championship record. We know, of course, now he has the top 14 times ever in the 100 breaststroke. He and Cam van der Burg have a little bit of a joust on the 50, but as far as Peaty's concerned, he is top dog by quite some way in the 100, and that's why 14 times he's got the best. And everybody else is trailing behind. So it's hard to remember a time when he wasn't the king of 100 breaststroke. You have to go back through the box. Who was good before Adam Peaty? It seems to have been his event for so long now.
Okay, it's time to slow down.
Oh, thanks very much. Should I say one of my tablets?
So this 200-meter backstroke for women was, well, unexpectedly slow in the prelims, with the last qualifier with a time of 2:15, which is actually 11 seconds off world record pace. 11 seconds.
Yeah, Catherine Greenstone said thank you very much indeed, because she wasn't quick either this morning. She's over 2 seconds outside her best, and she's snuck in 7th place in the first of the semi-finals, and there she is. In lane number 7, it's Evelyn Burian is the fastest in this field. Panziera is the top European this year. She's got the best time with a 2:07.16. She's the only one in the world top 7, dominated by Australians and Americans and Canadians. Panziera sneaks in at number 7.
Okay, so the Hungarian was swimming very, very easily in the morning heat, about 50%. So what she said, that it was the easiest 2:10 that she has ever done, and expect her to be also very relaxed this time.
Well, I've just noticed that the Hungarian flag is the Italian one the other way around.
Well, not many people noticed that at the age of 5, but okay.
And also the Bulgarian one as well. If you look at them, look at 4, 5, and 6. It's like the same flag, but moved in different directions. Sorry. Yeah. Okay. It's little things like
another
that
fun fact.
Yes, exactly. So off they go for the first 50 of the 200 backstroke. And who's going to be at the front after 50? The answer is on the scoreboard. Panziera from Burian, and then Zamorano with Armatova in 4th place, and Greenslade 5. As we know, 200 backstroke will evolve from here on.
So Panziera takes the lead. She was bronze medalist at the Short Course Europeans, also was in the final of the 100-meter here in Glasgow. And look at Burian with 10 meters to go till the halfway mark. This is where she speeds up, makes a quick turn, only to settle back and relax over the next 40 meters.
Decent time, 1:02.62. It's only about 4 tenths outside the European record split. at this stage, but the two centre lanes are dominating things here. Pansiera in 5, Burian in 4, waiting for somebody else to make a move. Zamorano in 1 might be the swimmer to try and get into the top 3 at the moment, but
once again, change of pace by Burian at the 15-meter mark. So yeah, she is still just enjoying this swim.
Out to 2 seconds outside European record pace, so that wasn't as quick. Pansiera, Burian, and then Zamorano. Still the 1, 2, 3, and everybody else behind is obviously trying to find a place in the final. The top 2 are not going to have to worry about that. It's just a question of who is going to get to the wall first.
So Italy and Hungary 1-2. It should be Pansiera touching the wall first.
Not much between them.
2:07 time for both of them, and it was a very, very easy swim by Burian, I can tell you that. You know what? It's amazing that I think she even made a new personal best in a fashion like this. So, and they are very close to the European Championship mark of Kristina Egersegi set in 1991. So you didn't see Burian right now just looking around and with a huge question mark on her face. So what was that? How was I so fast?
Well, I don't have to ask what the Hungarian record is, because obviously we know it's Egersegi's, but...
That is not.
What?
No.
Is it not?
No. The Hungarian record is held by Katinka Hosszú, who won silver medal at the Olympics.
Of course, of course. So Pansiera from Burian, from the Spaniard in 3rd place, and we'll see how that transpires and moves on for the final of those top 3. Indeed, who else might join them in the final tomorrow. Second semi coming up. Now the 200 meters backstroke for women. There's Lisa Graf. Katerina Abramova of the Evening Club in England. There's Jenny Menzing of Germany in 3. Ustinova.
The only sub 2:10 in the morning prelims. Ustinova, bronze medalist from 4 years ago. Then Avdeeva in 5, the European junior champion. Keep an eye on Darina Zavina, former short course world champion of the 200-meter backstroke.
Vermeulen for the Dutch. There's a fan club up in the crowd, and Grabowski of Austria in lane number 8. So Graf, Abramova, Menzing, Ustinova, Avdeeva, Zavina, Vermeulen, and Grabowski. There's the world record, Missy Franklin's. Well, don't worry about that. 2:04.06. That's set 2012. And watch that. And Missy was flying on that occasion. Who of the class of 2018 is going to get close potentially to that championship record? Any of this lot? We'll find out. Semi-final number 2. Ustinova is the fastest. 2 Russians side by side. Ustinova and Avdeeva. Ukraine, Zavina and Menzing from Germany in 3. Those are the main 4 in terms of the time from the heats.
As I mentioned, Ustinova was the only sub 2:10 in the heat, but she had to push hard because we had 3 Russians in the mix. And of course, the rule says only the 2 best of them can go through to the semis.
So, Avdeeva leading from Ustinova. Russian 1-2 at the 50. Germany with Jenny Menzing occupying 3rd place. 4th is Vermeulen of the Netherlands as they get to the 75-meter mark. Still the 2 Russians, but starting to make her way through. Jenny Menzing of Germany coming alongside the 2nd of the Russians right now.
And it will be Avdeeva who turns first at the 100-meter mark, and her split should be better. Yeah, by 1/10 of a second better than Pansiera's from the previous semi-final. And now it is time for Ustinova to make a move and probably overtake her compatriot.
Good at the moment for Lisa Graf as well in one. She's starting to work her way through the field. She's quite a long way back. She's looking good here on this third 50. Certainly has her eyes on making that final tomorrow. It's terrific. I'd be surprised she's not the fastest over the 50 the way that she has come back here. She in the mix, Lisa Graf. She's in fourth place, but she's not too far behind the top three now.
Actually, it was a surprise that Lisa Graf only qualified for lane one because she had the second fastest time in Europe this year. So expect her to make the final and expect Ustinova to win this.
She's going to do by about half a body length, I think, by the time they get to the wall. Will be somewhere in that region anyway. And Ustinova with a 2:08.19, a 2:08.92 for Menzing. Third is Graf. She did finish quickly. Avdieva in fourth. Zavina of the Ukrainian 5. She will have to wait. There's a shake of the head from my colleague to say she has not made it. Avdieva will have done.
No, she's in. I mean, Zavina, but that is not the Zavina that we used to see in the previous years. So in the second semi-final, we had 4 swimmers under 2:10. But the winner, Daria Ustinova, a little bit slower than both Panziera and Burian from the previous semi-final.
The 2 Russians make it through, the 2 Germans make it through, so they'll all be back for that final in the final session, which will be on Thursday afternoon. Which will be absolutely ram-packed. Of course, no semis on the final day. We'll be going final, 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 all the way through. It'll be the final countdown. Move on. After you've seen the clarification of who's made it through. And Panziera with a 2:07, Burian with a 2:07. That's a difficult one to call tomorrow night. Roll the dice and see where it lands. 50 freestyle. This will be rapid. You won't see much of the swimmers. You'll see loads of wash. It'll be like the celebration for the 800 freestyle victory. It'll just be loads of water and somebody underneath it. That's what happens in the 50 free. I always say until they get to about 35, we will not have a clue who's doing what. Quite frankly, most times anyway. 35 gets a little bit more apparent. And there's all the attention from a GB point of view on that young man. Proud with a 21.68 this morning. We'll want to go quicker. There's Lithuania in lane number 1. There's 2 Brits in this, by the way. There's the other. Tom Fannin, 22.26. His best is 22.09. Andrew Gogorov in 3. Ben Proud, British record holder. Rashek for Poland in 5. Steely gaze of Luca Dotto in 6. Coming down of France in 7. And finally, but not leastly, Bruno Blaskovic of Croatia. So that's best time of the year. Ben Proud's 21.16. It was about half a second outside that this morning. Number 1 in the world. Not number 1 as far as the heats were concerned, though. This is why we find him in semi-final number 1. Now, he and John Rudd, when they worked together at Plymouth, worked very, very, very hard. I'll underline the very on his starts. He and Ruta obviously trained together. Ruta would be lightning fast, as indeed would he. Just not quite as quick these days as he was. Let's see what he does this time. Proud in 4, Gogorov in 3. Who's away the quickest on this one? He is.
Benjamin Proud. And already in the lead. That is going to be an amazingly fast 50 meters by Benjamin Proud. He can now look around, take a cup of tea, and still win this. Look at that time.
21.16 it was earlier in the year. It's better. It's 5/100ths better than the best time in the world this year. 21.11. And if there's any question marks over Ben Proud, he got that silver medal in the 50 fly yesterday. No questions today. Jurasek with second place, Govorov in third.
Billis joined third. But those two already outside. 22 seconds.
Well, he got the start he wanted, didn't he? That was the thing. He was away like lightning. Tom Fannin not able quite to equal his personal best. 22.14, 5/100ths outside. He won't be back for the final tomorrow. Luca Dotto, Laskovic will have to wait because they're joint fifth. So a joint third. Could we potentially have a swim off here?
That is absolutely in the mix if you were talking about the 50-meter freestyle.
Could have a swim off. Because it's that tight, obviously. But as I mentioned, he's not the fastest in the field from this morning, and nor is that man. But we'll start with...
No, that's not Julie Kep
Yeah, well,
Janssen.
that is definitely not Julie Kep Janssen. She would be in a completely different race. If she is in this race, she's gone down the wrong tunnel. So Bana of Serbia, Luukkonen of Finland, Morozov in 3 for Russia. Golomiev of Greece in 4, that's the fastest qualifier. Andrea Vigani of Italy, Put of the Netherlands in 6. Vasikov of Russia in 7, and Ruse of France in lane number 8.
So the Greek on lane number 4, who finished 4th 2 years ago, also made the final last year in the Budapest World Championships.
European record, by the way. It's another one that's been on the books for a while. 9 years for Freddie Bousquet. Where is that noise coming from?
From the Russians.
Yeah, I think
that is
so.
for sure.
Not bad to be the impaler here. And lane number 3. He's not had a great week. He's made the semi-finals, though. Let's see. He's got a good lane. Should have potentially won the 100 free. Didn't make the semi-finals. Now we'll start compared to Ben Proud, so nowhere near as good. Greeks away a bit slower than Morozov by 5/100ths of a second.
Actually, it's lane 5, Andrea Vigani, the early leader at the 35-meter mark, but now comes Morozov in lane 3.
Still lane 5, though. It's going to be Vigani, and Vigani takes it at 21.37. Morozov 21.44. They are a long way behind Ben Proud with that time. Third place to Golomiev of Greece, and 4th to Luukkonen of Finland. But look at that, 21.37 winning the second semi, 21.11 winning the first. And we are going to have a swim-off, are we?
Because Jesse Put from the Netherlands was 5th in this heat, which means, remember in the previous heat we had Billis and Govorov with the same time. So they should finish joint 8th. Let's wait and see.
We'll get that confirmed in just a moment. That was the heat you just, sorry, semi-final you just seen. And there's the question mark, which means we will have a swim-off. A swim-off to come. So
Govorov against Simonas Billis. Bruno Blaskovic and Dotto missing out by just 2/100ths of a second.
That's how it can be, and that's why the start in the 50s is always so important. Ben Proud was away very, very quickly, and I said that's a big margin between the 2 semi-finals. Got to be honest. Ben Proud, if he can replicate that tomorrow, should win it relatively comfortably, you would think. But there she is,
the real Janssen.
Yeah, I don't think she was quite ready to do the 53. She's ready to do the 50 fly, fortunately. And she's in 1. Bianchi of Italy in 2. Dolkiet of Poland. Now, this lady, the stunning PB this morning, Emily Beckman, Kromowidjojo. I was about to say an up and down wig, but it'll be an English joke. Bush in 6 for the Netherlands, 7, Louise Hansen, and Svenchena of the Czech Republic. Now, let's see what Emily Beckman could do here, because that was a big personal best that she did in the heats this morning. Time she clocked 25.72. 25.72, the best time she has ever done.
It's still 0.6 of a second down on Sarah Sjöström's pace, who will swim in the second semi-final.
It is true, but she's a rookie, and let's see whether she can back it up. Kromowidjojo will be pushing her all the way. That you can be certain. She can beat the Dutch woman. That would be another feather in her cap. The Danes unearthed another brand new talent. She could be along the lines of a Rika Muller-Pedersen. It's a different event, but still, can she track Kromowidjojo all the way? She's looking pretty good in lane number 4, but so too is the Dutch woman, and so too is Bush in lane number 6. But
Kromowidjojo fading away. She will be caught by Beckman.
Beckman's going to get to the wall before everybody else. And 25.86 is the time that she clocks, and that's slower than she went this morning. So that first semi-final was not as quick as we'd anticipated or indeed hoped for. Kromowidjojo second, and the Pole in third place. Bush in 4.26.42. Bianchi 26.43 will be on tenterhooks here. See whether she's going to return for the final tomorrow, but yeah.
Interestingly enough, almost all of these ladies put in worse times, slower times than in the heats.
Which is not what your coach wants you to do. Everybody wants you to, the old 3%, 2%, 1% job. That's what I was always told. You're going to be maybe 3% outside your best, 2% outside your best, 1% outside your best. And if you can beat it, then all well and good, but you want to kind of progress through the rounds and get quicker. You don't want to go slower from heats to semi. There's no reason why you should, really. Oh, we did have a swim-off this morning. You would ask me what you missed when you were with me. Could we have a swim-off? And both swimmers did what?
Better than
quicker.
Okay, Melanie Annick, World Championship, European Championships bronze medalist. But this Sarah Sjöström just unbeatable over 50-meter fly. Holds the world record. Winner of the past 3 European titles. Winner of the last 2 world titles over 50 fly.
She must look at that time and think, really?
What's that?
No problem with that. I can do that quite comfortably. Thank you very much, girls. Don't make it too difficult for me.
Now let's not forget that she has already swum the final of the 100-meter freestyle. Anyway, she should easily win this one. Look at that margin from the prelims. 0.7 of a second faster than Kimberly Bruce swimming next to her.
24.87 is her championship record. 25.11 is what she did this morning. Now, she knows she doesn't have to go flat out. Is that in the makeup and in the race plan? Sarah Sjöström in 4. France has also had some good times this year. One particularly good time. But Sjöström, I think, will be just a bit too difficult for her to beat on the occasion.
It is Annick in the lead right now. 50 meters to go, but Annick still in the lead.
And can she hold on? That's the question. No, she can't. No. Sarah Sjöström's going to get there before her 25.51. And that's not quick either. Well, she didn't have to go quickly. She knew that. She saw the first semi-final and thought, well, all right, I'll go 90%. I don't need to do much more than that.
That's all she needed. Safely through to the final. Winning this heat. 25.5. Well, a decent time. Still fastest in the field. still faster than Beckman and Kromowidjojo from the previous semi-final.
Murciello missing out by 2/100ths of a second in the end from making that final. But that doesn't present too many problems, does it, for Sarah Sjöström? You might find that Melanie Hennig will be the person who actually pushes her tomorrow, if anybody does. But Sjöström, nice and comfortable, and easing her way into that final tomorrow with a lead of 17/100ths from the semi. Those are the 8 who make it through, and those are the ones who do not. Now, semi-finals of the 100 butterfly for men. A very brief chat with James Guy today. Much happier with life than he was when he left the pool last night. And he will be the second fastest, is the second fastest, will be in lane 4. There's Joschko Kusch of Germany. Guimov of Russia in 3. That should be quite a cheer. Still looking at Dad. I haven't seen Dad. He's been here for all of the sessions, and I still haven't managed to track him down. He's a very imposing figure. He's out there somewhere, as indeed this man's a very imposing figure in a different kind of way.
14 times European champion.
Circling goes for Belarus, 6. Yuri Valinden for the Dutch, 7. Svitkowski for Poland in lane number 8. Yep. So James Guy, after the disappointment of not getting a medal, just missing out on the 200 free last night, put in a 51.75, which is about second outside his British record. He is the top European this year in terms of time, set at the Commonwealth Games in the Gold Coast back in April. But Christoph Milak is up in the next one with Piero Codia, the Italian record holder. So we've got the Hungarian record holder and the Italian record holder going in the second semi-final. There's James Guy. In place for semi-final number 1. It's a very good start by James Guy as well, along with Sirkin at 0.64. They're both the fastest away. Again on the 100. It means a little bit, doesn't mean as much as the 50s, but gets him into his routine pretty quickly, and also had a very good start push in lane number 2.
And Turkin down in 6. He was European champion of the 50 meters 4 years ago, but now it is Lemeshko up in lane number 1.
He's not going to win it. I predict that from here. James Guy in lane 4, bouncing on the waves of Laszlo Che. Guimov in 3, but James Guy now starting to make his way through. Is he going to finish this off? He's got a lot of competition either side. He's got Laszlo Che, he's got Sirkin, but it will be James Guy.
Or Laszlo Che.
It'll be Laszlo Che. So what happened to James Guy's finish there?
That was a very, very poor finish by James Guy.
Something he's going to have to eradicate for tomorrow, because Laszlo Che gets there.
And that final touch of Guy was just terrible. We'll see it in the replay.
We shall. We'll need to check, because going to the wall, it certainly looked like James Guy got it.
Look at that. Still in front, and oh, where's the wall? Should not take a breath for your final stroke. That is something you have to learn. Dipping way below the surface. That was not something that coaches like to see.
No. And I'm sure that his coach, Joel Fink, will be looking at that and going, James, you could have lost out on a medal by doing that if you do that in the final. So don't do it in the final, please. Thank you. Comfortably through, though, to that final with that time, as indeed Laszlo Che will be. As we move on to semi-final number 2. Likely is we're going to get 2 Hungarians through to that final. Revolta of Italy we see first, though. There's Persson of the Netherlands in 2. Now the record holder for Hungary, Christoph Milak. got a 51.5 this year. Piero Codia. His Italian record at 51.09. Konrad Czerniak of Poland. There's Mehdi Metella of France. Sadovnikov for Russia. And Philipp Heintz.
So it's Milak, winner of the 200 fly. Codia, the Italian record holder, fastest in the heat. Czerniak, winner of the European title 4 years ago. And Metella, who was bronze medalist in London and also made it to the Olympic final 2 years ago. Those four in the middle lanes should make it through to the final.
51.65, the winning time from semi-final number 1. So get in around the 51s, low 52s, you should be through to the top 8. Interesting matchup here between Codia and 4-3. Let's see who is going to dominate from there. And, they both go under the water about the same length of time. They all covered about the same time, and at the 25-meter mark. Very little to separate any of the competitors in this one.
Czerniak was the fastest and is the fastest so far. The tall with those huge arms of his. And at the turn, it is Sadovnikov, Czerniak, Codia, Milak.
Yeah, it's playing a waiting game with Milak because they think those two are probably going to be the ones bringing it back strongly. But a very good swim by Metella, as we might imagine. He's got a lot of experience in here. In lane number 6, and Likov in lane number 7 as well. It's going to be a blanket finish here, and perhaps the Russian's going to get there first. He's very close to the wall. The Russian does win it in 51.67, so marginally slow, but only just than the first semi-final. Czerniak getting second place, Milak in third.
Codia only in 5th position, outside 52 seconds. Will that be enough?
He'll be okay. He's there. He's there with 52.02.
Just in.
No, his name's Piero.
Was that?
Not Justin, Piero.
Oh, okay.
But Linden, Sirkin both miss out. Codia just getting through to say if you can get around 52, should be okay, and he got 52.02. So James Guy finds himself in qualification terms back in 5th place. Which is not what he wants
very
to be.
close.
Very
so
close.
Only 37 hundredths of a second separating the top 8. 37 hundredths.
And you know what? Top 5, 13 100ths between 1 and 5. That's how tight that is.
So we are already very much looking forward to the final of the 100 fly. Look at that. Laszlo Cseh, 51.65. And down in 8th, Piero Codia, just outside 52 seconds.
Yuri Verlinden, Sirkin missing out. Philipp Heintz likewise. Okay, on to the 50 breaststroke for women. I always try not to bring it back to Britain, but just very quickly to say there was quite a lot of excitement about the swim of Imogen Clark this morning amongst the British journalists. And they thought that her 30.4, which is the 4th fastest time in the world this year, by the way, was very impressive. So we'll see whether she can back it up now. The Irish record holder in lane number 2, Mona McSharry. There's Ruta Meliotite.
Can she get the shoes off? Yes, she
She's
can.
not going to swim with them on, is she? That'd be interesting. Swim with flippers, perhaps. But Meliotite in 3. Leone, Italy 4. Ivanieva, Russia 5. Carraro of Italy in 6, turning it back on us. Stankovic of Hungary in 7, and Pedersen of Denmark in lane number 8. You'll not see Rika Buller-Pedersen in lane number 8, but that's where she is on this occasion.
Abeli, do you see her in the final of the 50-meter event, since she is the world record holder of the 200 meters? So.
Yeah, she is. Ruta Meliotite is the European record holder. That goes back to 2013. In Barcelona. She had a terrific 2012 and brilliant 2013, but last couple of years have not been quite so good from her point of view, but she's in a semi-final. She made semis in the 53 as well. First semi-final of the 50 meters breaststroke for women. It'll all be over in about 30 seconds time. Castiglione and Miliutite Ivaneva are the three right in the center, but at the moment, as you can see, nothing really to choose between most of the swimmers. Where will this start to break open?
Well, it should be Miliutite up in front with 10 meters to go. Castiglione holding on to the Lithuanians, and so does Ivaneva.
She's finishing very strongly. So too is Carraro. For them to the wall together, and that's how they finish. Miliutite, Castiglione, Ivaneva, and Carraro. Winning time is 30.38 for Miliutite, which is a little bit quicker than she went this morning, but by her European record standard, not rapid.
Actually, I expected Ruta to be a little bit faster than that.
Yeah, me too.
Closer to the 30-second barrier, but, you know, finishing first in the semi, qualifying to the final, in a good position, and from then on, it's a new day and a new race.
It's a new life, and I'm feeling good. That's where you're going with that, wasn't it? You were leading me into that. I knew you were. So the result of the first one we've seen, and semi-final number 2, that is your lineup. And I would say, on what we've just seen, Efimova will cruise through, but the home crowd might have something to get excited about here, because I think both the Brits can do that time. I don't think there's anything that's going to phase them particularly. And say off the back of what we saw this morning, maybe Imogen Clark with that 30.4 can get close to 30. Schroeder of Denmark in 1, Laukkanen, Finland in 2. Should be a bit of a cheer for Sarah Vasey, who's up next. She's looked after by Mel Marshall, of course, is coach of Adam Peaty. Julia Pink-Cap Efimova. In number 4, there's Imogen Clark. She looks a bit nervous to me, actually, the way she was blowing there, but that might just be her pre-race routine. Sophie Hansen of Sweden. Here's the incredible Holko in lane 7.
And also the audience enjoying being in the picture.
And Fanny Lecluse in 8. Well, the personal best of Sarah Vasey is 30.30. The British record of Imogen Clark is 30.21. So if they both do those times, hello happiness. And on their way to the final day and the final.
Okay, so Julia Efimova playing with the field in the 100 meters, playing with the field in the 200 meters, taking gold. But now you cannot hold back in the 50 meter.
Just give him a bit of a head start, but on 50 you really cannot risk that. Fastest away was Imogen Clark with a .65. She looked very good this morning. She knows she's going to be following, or should be following, Efimova in.
And she's in the lead. Still in the lead, Clark, with 15 meters to go, and now it is time for Efimova to take over, and so she does.
Well, as long as Clark is right with her, she knows she's got a good time. It's going to be Efimova who gets there. Clark with a 30.04. That is a new British record.
And a new championship record for Efimova, bettering Ruta Miliutite's time by more than 0.2 of a second.
So records flying all over the place. And Sarah Vasey was 5th. She might get through with a 31.02.
You want to know?
Yeah, we will. No, just misses out. Just misses out. So they won't both come back. But a championship record and a new British record for Imogen Clark. Ruta Miliutite was 3rd fastest overall. But yeah, well, they were right to get excited about Imogen Clark, weren't they, this morning? She had a terrific heat swim. And who knows, she might break that 30 barrier in the final tomorrow night. And that's a great marker for her. Terrific marker to have Julia Efimova right next to you. You know, if you're going to be with her at the finish, you've done a pretty decent time, don't you? So she will return tomorrow after that 30.4, which is a British record. Her previous one, as I mentioned, was 30.21. So she's knocked 17/100ths of that British record.
But a huge question mark to the performance of Ruta Mailutita. I mean, she's in third position, clearly one of the favorites, but still 0.7 of a second behind Yulia Yefimova.
We'll see how that goes tomorrow night. I'm sure they'll be phoning each other tonight to have a chat ahead of the final tomorrow night. 200 backstroke. Well, we could see Russian domination here. Well, certainly as far as 1 and 2 is concerned. The thing I like about swimming, you can't get a 1, 2, 3. You can only get 1 and 2. Is it going to be Tarasevic and Rylov? Well, Rylov surely will be the red-hot favourite, although the way he swam the 100, who knows? 153.71 the Russian champs. Mencarini of Italy will be in lane number 2. Now, we have somebody who's trying to get the title for a third time count up, surely, so don't discount him. There's Matteo Restivo of Italy. And there's Tarasevic, who went much slower, went over half a second slower from heats to semi. Quite a lot.
Just enough to qualify in third position.
Now here's the man who's won it the previous 2 times.
You know, he had to push hard, I mean, Tarasevic in the heat, because he wanted to beat Klement Kolesnikov, so far the king of backstroke here in Glasgow, and he managed to do that.
That shot looked like he was on fire there. We'll see whether he is when he gets in the pool, eh? Rylov. Well, you're right about Kolesnikov. 155.83 in Helsinki, which still puts him as the top European in the, apart from Rylov, in the world. Second top European, but as we saw with Morozov in the 100, what you've done before here doesn't really count.
But look at that margin. Rylov more than 2 seconds ahead of Radoslav Kavensky.
Let's see if that's how this one shapes up. Defending a title, I'll say 2 years ago, but Rylov time. Just to repeat it back, no Americans been that close. Ryan Murphy 154, Mitch Larkin the best of the Australians with 155. Lesnikov a 155, Restivo 156, Tarasevic a 157 is the time he did in the heats here. Dina a 156 this year. Vicky a 157. So 2 of the medalists from 2 years ago. Not here, not in this competition anyway. Tumarkin and Ratsis. So it should all be about. The form book is anything to go by. The man in lane 4. Now who can he carry with him? He's off to a good start, but so too is Christou of Greece in the outside lane. He's going to swim his own race, and if it means he gets into the medal contention, all well and good.
Kostas Christou, winner of the bronze medal in the 100-meter event. Probably a little too long this distance for him. And also in the mix, it's Dina down in lane 7. Was second 4 years ago at the Berlin European Championships.
Stevo of Italy in 4th place, but model of consistency in a really nice, languid stroke. Looks like he's not really trying that hard real often. When the backstrokers look good, that means they're not trying very hard because it all comes so naturally. Look at the lead he's got.
Look at the split,
100.
which is just off his own European record that he set last year in Budapest and winning the world title.
Unless the Glasgow Seal suddenly appears in the pool and stops him, I don't think any way Rylov's not going to come back and win this. Who is going to get second? That's a much more difficult thing to ascertain because the Greek in lane 1 is still going well, and also going pretty well too is Dina in 7th, but our leader is our winner with 50 to go. I think we can call it already. 124.12, not massively outside the European record split. Dina is in 2nd place. 3rd is Restivo. It'll be a case of a procession now.
And now Kavensky comes and wants to take that silver medal after winning 3 titles in a row, but it is Yevgeny Rylov who will take the 200-meter crown.
And he just eases his way in to maybe a European record, a new European record. It is 153.36. Rebecca in 2nd place, 3rd place to Restivo. and he made it look so comfortable and so easy. 153 earlier this year, 153 again. Not as quick actually as he went at the Russian trials, but he's done it at the European Championship, and he has won that by a considerable distance in the end. In terms of time, if you look at the distance, that's one of the biggest wins of the week.
Absolutely. What was it, 5 meters at least? 2.7 seconds up on Radoslav Kavenski. So Yevgeny Rylov, after settling for silver in the 100 meters, that was a convincing victory. And what I think is more important for him, he bettered his time from last year and swam a new European record.
Hugo Gonzalez is looking rather plaintively up at the scoreboard saying, do I not get a time then? Because there's no time up on his lane yet. We have 7 and he hasn't got a time. So he's saying, well, I finished. So we'll wait for the backup timing to kick in so we can find out where he is, because at the moment it looks like he was 8th. I don't know if he was 8th or not.
Yeah, I think so.
But scoreboard is not showing his time, so we can't... there we go, he was 8th. 1:59.06, so he was right at the back of the field.
So the results are all official now or not yet?
Oh, they're having a look. There are the men in the glass box playing big goldfish. So we wait. Do you think he was last? Must admit, it wasn't looking at the back of the field, only looking at the front.
Hugo Gonzalez? I think he was.
So that's an error. Well, there's no problem with the top 3. Certainly no problem with the winner. But they are studiously looking at the data. Cameron looking at their pictures. There are hundreds of them.
This is Tarasevic finishing down in 6th position. That's very bad news for the Russians. Had they had Clement Kolesnikov here, that would have been a 1-2 for sure.
Well, you saw them at the beginning of the session, having a look and getting ready for what they thought would be a trouble-free, or hope to be a trouble-free session, but the problem must be regarding lane 8, because that result took a long time to come up. I'm not sure, because we didn't see the end of the race, whether Gonzalez was in the last place or not, but he's showing his 8th.
Well, he was in 7th position, actually, at the final turn, so I don't know if he made that huge move. No,
it's a big gap between him and Mencarini, though. If you look at it, 157 to 159.
Right, Zimmer from Luxembourg.
Come and tell us. Or she going to tell us anything.
She's out, and that means the results will be official.
Or will it? We're still looking at it. There you go. Yeah, everything seems to be okay now, so we have confirmed what we knew at the top anyway. That's Russia, Poland, Italy, and that time Hugo Gonzalez comes in at 1:59.06. Sorry for the delay, everybody, but I like to get these things right.
But now we have officially another European record.
And fantastic. Really good. When you see a backstroker swim like that with seemingly no effort, and they could do a time like that, you think, how do you do that? You're almost defying nature, science, physics by being able to swim like that, seemingly with no effort, and just gliding through the water. And that is the essence of what a great backstroker is.
Okay, I think this should be the final of the night. The women's 200 meters individual medley with Siobhan Mary O'Connor up against Katinka Hosszu. I think this is the best time for her. I mean, O'Connor, if she ever wants to beat Katinka, it should be now.
Okay, so let's work this out. Yeah, as you see him come on pool deck. Butterfly against butterfly, who's better?
Normally it is Katinka. However, in the semis, Siobhan was better by 0.4 of a second.
Backstroke will always go to Hosszu, I think.
That is true.
Right. Breaststroke, I think, is O'Connor's.
Yes.
Freestyle is probably Katinka's.
Yes, that is true.
Right. So.
But, you know, individual medley just does not add up like that.
Let's see how it does end up. this year. Siobhan, 2 years ago, did do a 2:06. If she does a 2:06 here, we won't see Hosszu anywhere near that.
No.
But she hasn't done a 2:06 for 2 years. So
if anyone does a 2:08 here, I think that should mean victory for her.
she's confident. She's got that look. We can always tell with Siobhan when she comes out from there, how she looks will indicate how she's going to swim. And that was a very, very, very positive stride onto pool deck. Well, Hosszu has all the numbers there. She has all the records there. But remember, this is the 2016 version of Hosszu. We're talking about not the 2018 version. Things are very different, but it could all click into place and she could go flying. Because it's all there. She hasn't an injury.
But she doesn't have the training either that she needed to put in to replicate those results.
Coach and everything else. So obviously she's in transition. So it should be between 4 and 5, and we'll get a measure. It'd be good to get the breakdown on the different quarters of this race, because I think Hosszu will lead at 50. O'Connor, we'll see. We'll see.
So once again, in the semis, O'Connor was faster in the butterfly leg.
Well, she'll have the crowd with her, most definitely, in lane number 4. And we can instantly recognize her because she's got that maroon purpley outfit on. And the way she goes, she will be tracked by Kusunato to her left, Hosszu to her right. Looks like O'Connor is going to get there first on the 50 fly of the two of them. There's not going to be much between them, however. In fact, there's 1/100th between them. That's how close that was.
And the pace is slower than Siobhan's time in the semis.
Right, backstroke is where Hosszu will take over. Now, Hosszu should, if she's anywhere near her form, be leading at 100. If she's not leading at 100, then I think this will be O'Connor's race. But Hosszu will lead at 100.
But not by that huge margin, 1.5 seconds. That was the difference between the breaststroke split of O'Connor and Hosszu, 1.5 seconds.
Well, she's much, much stronger on the breaststroke is O'Connor. She's back in third at the moment because Ugelkova's taken over second. Gap between the lead and third place where O'Connor is 0.3 of a second, but the breaststroke now surely should be hers, but Ugelkova is having a stormer in lane number 6.
And also in lane 3, Ilaria Cusinato looking very strong. So 4 of them really together with 50 meters to go in the breaststroke. Now Katinka back in third position maybe. It is Cusinato up in front.
It's not going to plan. This is not going to plan from a British point of view at all, because O'Connor's back in third, Ugelkova's second, and Cusinato's first. The crowd are going to have to help here. They're going to have to help big time, because O'Connor is definitely struggling and may not even be in the medals here, because Hosszu is coming back strongly. O'Connor is struggling.
Cusinato up in lane 3. Italian standing up.
Now
and watching her, but it is Hosszu's title to lose from here on.
Hosszu's got it. O'Connor's coming maybe for third. She's going to maybe get a medal, but it's going to be tight. Whoa, that was Hosszu. 2:10.17. Cusinato 2:10.25. Ugelkova in third. What did happen to Siobhan Marie O'Connor in that race? She gets edged out of the medals by 2/100ths of a second. I've got to say, whatever plans went in there, they were all over the place. And O'Connor, I cannot believe that she has not got a medal in that race, and she can't either. She's not even looking up. She's looking at the blocks and is unable to move. She is stunned.
Speechless. Incredible final. Katinka Hosszu, you know what? She is as exhausted as ever. This time of hers, 2:10.17, well, I think she has never put so much effort in a 2:10 before.
I'm stunned.
And Siobhan, 1 full second slower than in the semis. 1 full second.
No idea where they went wrong.
800ths of a second in between 1 and 2. So Ilaria Cusinato almost upsetting Katinka Hosszu. However, it is the Hungarian who manages to win her 5th gold medal of the event in a row.
Congratulations
5 gold
to
medals.
her. And to be fair, trying to be as totally unbiased as I can be, that is a terrific result, because you know, the year she's had, the last 8 months certainly that she's had, everything kind of went off the rails. But 2:10.70 is not a quick time to win it, really isn't. That everybody was kind of playing with each other there. But Siobhan Marie O'Connor, I have absolutely no idea what went wrong there. The breaststroke was nowhere near as good as it should have been, and she just had nothing left to bring it back with.
You know, at the halfway mark, she was in second position, no, third position, but very close to Katinka, only 0.3 of a second separating them. And then in the breaststroke, she was, I don't know what to do with that 38.1 split of hers. 38.1 is a very, very poor 50 meters.
Trying to look for her coach, Dave McNulty, see whether I can spot him. I imagine he'll be racing down to the call room now, actually, to talk to her, because honestly, she can move. She finished the race and she did not move. She just looked to the block, didn't look left, didn't look right, didn't look at anybody else. She just looked down at the block for a good 30 seconds there, unable to believe that she missed out. And as it turned out, she missed out by 0.02 of a second. So it was very, very tight. She probably should have got bronze anyway, but the fact is, she didn't come for bronze, she came for gold. She was fastest in Europe. Now remember, her time, the best in Europe this year, would have easily won her that. Her best time, 2:09.80.
That is what she put in yesterday in the semis. With an easy swim, 2:09.8. With that time, it would have been a win by almost 0.4 of a second.
I'm at a loss. You don't often see a swim and be completely speechless and have no kind of answer to it. She looked fine over the first 50. She was leading over the first 50. Backstroke's not her best. She was in contention at 50. Think, right, the breaststroke, she'll just blaze the trail. She'll take it away. And it just never happened. Just never. Anyway, that's done. And she'll have to go back to the drawing book with her coach, Dave McNulty, and say, right, World Championships next year, what do we do? 4x1 freestyle relay final, mixed, and
no GB.
No GB, and I'm not got an official explanation yet. The best I can give you is from a member of the team who I will not name, who suggested the reason that Great Britain did not have a 4x1 team today is they did not want Ben Proud to have to do 2 100s on the day he was doing the 50. There you go.
I'm not buying it.
Well, I'm not particularly, but that's the most plausible answer I've heard, and I've not heard any other that get close to that. That Ben Proud, the options are really Ben Proud and Duncan Scott. You've got to swim Ben Proud on 100, probably for this, and they didn't want him to do a swim this morning, because the thing is, he's a 50 specialist now. He doesn't really do 100s anymore. They didn't want to have anything that impacted on his 50, and as it turned out, he's done 21:11, and you can maybe understand that. But, you know, there would have been a medal up for grabs here. There would have been a good chance of a medal for Great Britain. They may have thrown it away, and at world level and Olympic level, you don't do that because you have so very few chances. Maybe they're getting a bit blasé because they've got double figures and they've got more medals hopefully to come tomorrow. But, or maybe, and this is now an Olympic event.
It is.
So it's not like, oh, it's an event that we won't be swimming in 2 years' time. They will be swimming it in 2 years' time. They'll only have 2 more chances to do this at this kind of level. Europeans this year, Worlds next year, then it's the Olympics. They've binned one chance to do that here. And nobody amongst the media corps in this country has the faintest idea why.
Okay, let's move on to the 8 who are here, because this is going to be a very, very exciting race with at least 5 teams in contention for the medals.
Let's run through them for you. Hungary, Germany, France, Russia, the Netherlands, Italy, Israel and Poland. They are the 8s. Sure I saw Estonia get through this one, but I don't seem to be in that 8, so what's happened there? They decided they didn't want to swim it tonight. Smithov for Hungary, Vierling for Germany, Stravius for France. So go 2 and 2, I think, as usual. Male, male, female, female.
Yep, all of them.
Kolesnikov from Russia, Kostanyev of the Netherlands, Dotto Gamberg for Israel, Bukowski for Poland in lane number 8. First 50 nearly completed by the first of the male swimmers, and the leader is, not surprisingly, Klement Kolesnikov under European record split. Now, is he going to go for another split time here, I wonder?
Okay, so Kolesnikov, the backstroke ace, already winner of the 4x100 freestyle title here, is in the lead with Hungary in second position, and France, Jeremy Stravius bringing them home in third.
48.45.
Actually, it's France second, Hungary third.
Yeah, 48.45 the split for the Russian. They are 67 100ths under European record pace at this time. There is a giant man in lane number 4. And lane number 3, that's Mehdi Metella, who's back in for yet more. But Hungary going pretty well.
But they do not have that speed for the women, so expect them to fall behind. Unlike the Italians and the Dutch, who have very strong women in the mix with Femke Heemskerk and Ranomi Kromowidjojo. So it is Metella against Grinev. And also Miresi, winner of the 100-meter individual title.
Russia, France, and then Italy in that order at the halfway stage. The men have done their work. Of course, the hard work is always done by the women, as we know. Grinev, Metella, and Miresi leave the women to go and do the rest of the work, and that is how it stands at the halfway stage.
So we have Marie Vatel from France, Maria Kameneva, the stronger of the two Russians, actually. And for Italy, it is Giada Galizzi. And let's not rule out the Dutch with Heemskerk. And their anchor swimmer being Ranomi Kromowidjojo, who will swim against Federica Pellegrini. And for France, it is going to be Charlotte Bonnet.
Right. Well, they put her in the right place this time, on the anchor leg, where she should have been yesterday in the 4x2. And that's where we find her today, and we also find the French just about, but only just, ahead of Russia. Then the Netherlands, then Italy, and Germany in 5th place with one more leg to go.
So a fight for medals now on, and look at that Ranomi Kromowidjojo in lane 5. Coming from behind and trying to catch up with the Russian, Arina Opanisheva.
Won't catch Bonnet, though.
No, not at all, no chance.
She's gone, 50 to go for the French woman, but the minor medals, well, they're wide open. The Netherlands, Russia, Italy, all very closely grouped.
So France is going to take it quite easily, and the time is going to be somewhere around the European record.
It's going to be a championship record, we think, as well. Championship record almost certainly going to go. The world record obviously not going to go. The European record has not gone, but the championship record has to Charlotte Bonnet of France. Second is the Netherlands. They got some of the shadow. Not a terrific week for the Dutch, but there's a silver medal. Third is Opanisheva, bringing them home for the Russians. And Pellegrini again just misses out in 4th place. So France with a new championship record. Second, Kromowidjojo. Third, Russia. Any dodgy takeovers there?
No. No, not at all. The Polish have a 0.09, and that is the best of all. Alicia Torres takeover, but not risky at all. So a new championship record for Jeremy Stravius, Mehdi Metella, Marie Vatel, and Charlotte Bonnet, and they just missed out on the European record by a little more than 0.2 of a second.
2:07. It's all good, and they're happy. There's another medal for the Russians, which will keep them entrenched at the top of the medal table.
There she is, Charlotte Bonnet, her split. Oh my God, 52.3 Charlotte Bonnet split.
Last night, 4x2, put her on number 2. Why? Delilah. Doesn't make any sense.
Okay, so she had by far the best split amongst women, and amongst men, it was individual champion Alessandro Miresi for Italy with a 47.3, but that was not enough for a medal for Team Italy.
So they're going to have to swim off after the medal ceremonies by the looks of things.
All of them? From now on, we are going to have lots of medal ceremonies.
I thought they might have slid in the swim off now, to be honest, before the medal ceremonies, but no. So let's give it a bit of a wait before we get to that. There's the assignment on the French faces. French are quite excited today because they got a couple of medals in the open water as well. So another good day. 800 freestyle for men, first event of the day. And Sven Folvik then will present medals, helped by David McDonald of Glasgow City Council. And bronze medal will go the way of the German Florian Bellbrock. Well, I thought he might be in the mix. He's obviously in the mix for the medals, but never pushed for one or two really in the race. Certainly from first couple of 100 meters onwards. But he's got his medal, and more importantly, he's got his seat. That's 45. Good time for him. They're a very tight community, the 800 freestylers. The endurance men. And there is the defending champion, not defending his title. Mario Paltrinieri just didn't quite have enough either in the 15 or in the 8. In the end, because there was a man who was quicker in the 4 and in the 8. Mikhailo Romanchuk. What a week for Ukraine. What a week particularly for him. And swam a very, very classy race for the best time in the world this year. Americans thought they had the #1 time, but they don't anymore. Belongs to a man from Ukraine. There he is. And looking forward to hearing his national anthem, which is up next for Mikhailo Romanchuk of Ukraine. It is a week he will remember for quite some time. Mikhailo Romanchuk, best over 8 lengths, best over 16.
You know what? We had a chat the other day about the 800 meter added to the Olympic program. Mikhailo Romanchuk, Paltrinieri, Wellbrook, these 3 gentlemen were on the podium after the 1500 meters. So pretty much the same field. Actually, 7 out of the 8 finalists in the 800 meter made it to the 1500. So almost always the same field.
But we've got 2 years and things may change.
Or may not.
Well, you're right, probably more likely not, but you've got 2 years where people might start to go, well, hang on, there's now not 3 medals, there's 6 medals we can go for here. There's 2 different events. If you're not going to go open water, and it might just stop a few people going to open water with the 1500s. People who think, okay, 1500 doesn't really suit me, 800 doesn't suit me, but open water does. 1500 is that interim distance that might suit a few more people.
Yes, I know. I just still don't see anyone emerging in the following 2 years to be 800-meter specialist or 1500-meter specialist among women.
Well, let's revisit that. When I'm in a home in 4 years' time, you come and visit me. We'll talk about that. Yeah. After we have Tokyo out of the way and the next Europeans after that happens. But, yeah, I know. I'd rather see the split in there, the sprints in there as well, to be honest. But as we have discussed at length, ad nauseum, it's not going to happen this time round. It may not happen in Paris. It probably won't happen in Los Angeles, and on we go. And there's the results of the mixed relay. I'm not quite sure we suddenly got them pop up, but there we go. That may be just confirmation for you.
Okay, so still no swim off.
No, I think it's going to, almost certain it's going to happen at the end of the session.
Which means after all 6 medal ceremonies. As we move on to the 100-meter freestyle victory ceremony.
The medals will be presented by 10th Euro member Barrier Stanzi, accompanied by head of events
presentation party for the 100 meters freestyle for women. Robbie Clyde, Event Scotland's head, who will be very happy with the way this has all happened this week. It happened a bit of a rush when the European Championships were all amalgamated with other events. So they were thinking about making it for one, and then suddenly obviously have to incorporate it with other things that are going on around. Charlotte Bonnet of France goes straight from the relay. Gets herself prepared. You see her hair still very wet. Hardly a chance to get that dry before she picks up her bronze medal in the 100 after winning the 200.
winner of the silver medal, representing Netherlands, Femke Heemskerk.
Well, as mentioned, the Dutch have not had the best of weeks. It's been okay. They've been competitive, but they haven't picked up a whole shoal of medals. But here's another one to add to the mix. Femke Heemskerk in the 100 free, getting second place, but even she knew that it's unlikely in the form she was in that she would stop the flying Swede. And so it proved to be, because Sarah Sjöström, new program, new coach, trying different things. Whatever she tries seems to work pretty well.
This is gold medal number 3 for her.
Well, she is a multi-medalist whenever she stays. It's a shame for her, of course, that Sweden didn't make the 4x1 final. Or she might have had a chance of that as well.
Maybe tomorrow in the medley.
Yep.
4x1 medley relay.
They haven't got enough depth in the other strokes, though, have they? Really? I'm not sure.
Not really.
So she'll anchor it, but the fact is she might have too much to do by the time it gets there. But we'll see. Sarah Sjöström is the 100 freestyle gold medalist in Glasgow. Well, the smile says it all. So used to doing this. 3rd time in a row. at the European Championships. She has won the gold, and she's won it very conclusively yet again. Who will challenge her? First of all, was beaten, so don't let that happen again. Hasn't happened again since. You can hear the noise. He hasn't even come out on pool deck yet. Might be in a Justin Bieber concert. Not that I've ever been to a Justin Bieber concert, I can tell you.
Really?
Absolutely.
Oh, you missed a lot.
Couldn't pay me enough to go to one of those. So here he is. The big man. See with Loughborough and Mel Marshall these days. Used to be at City of Derby, so great credit to City of Derby for getting him through his initial years. Now part of that big program at Loughborough University. Carlo's back. As is Robbie Clyde. Busy man. He's gone around the back and come out again. Like a revolving door. Couldn't leave the building, so they brought him back in. There's your third place. He was second place in London in 2016. So he's down a notch, but he's still on the medal podium. That is Peter Stevens of Slovenia. It's the only event he does, isn't it? He doesn't do the 100.
No, he
do the 200.
Only the 50 meters. So he pretty much has the opportunity to race once in a year at European or world stage. But he, I think, made the most out of it.
Well, one of the things I have got right this week is to call who's going to come second. And here he is for Italy, Fabio Scazzoli, who, if it had been a 25-meter breaststroke, would have won it. Because he was heading Adam Peaty at the halfway stage, but from there on in, it becomes a completely different race. Yes, there's a young man who just does exceptional things when he's on form, and boy is he on form right now. And there he is. Nobody enjoys these moments more than he. European champion for a third time in a row. Count them. Adam Peaty gets the roar, gets the acclamation of the crowd. They saw him in London, got a big cheer there. They're seeing him in Glasgow, get a huge cheer in front of a Scottish audience. Of course, when he goes head-to-head with Ross Murdoch, they'd rather Ross wins it, but on this occasion, there is no Scotsman in there, so it's all about Adam Peaty, who just is sublime at the moment. And he will love hearing this, the British national anthem. It is a discussion that I'm having a lot with my colleagues in this country and people who are big fans of Adam Peaty, is when, Adam Peaty, will you do a 200 again? Because, I'm serious, when he came through in 2013, he very nearly made the World Championship team on the 200. He was edged out at the trials by, I think it was either 0.2 of a second, I think it was less, I think it was 1/10 of a second. So he nearly made the Barcelona World Championship team on the 200. His life has changed since, but I can see him making a final in the 200 if he puts his mind to it. That's a question of...
Sorry, but I cannot. I mean, the way he swims, the power he puts in, to compare his style of swimming to that of Anton Chupkov, current ruler of the 200-meter breaststroke.
If he put his mind to it, he could do it.
It's not that easy.
It is for him. Shows it. Shows it. He's a freak. There are people in swimming, there are people in sport who are just exceptional, who are so much better than everybody else. If they said next year, right.
Look at that, flying seagulls all around.
Okay. Well, the discussion has been going on long and hard, and you know, I'm sure we will see it. I'm sure we will see it at some point. It may well be in what he might see as a kind of quiet year. They might give it a go. They might give it a go. And, you know, it's not like he's not done it before. He has done it before, and he started as a 200 breaststroker. He's come down.
Because his technique has changed a lot, his stroke has changed a lot, so I just don't see him.
Honestly, I think he's that adaptable that you could actually see him do it. And I'd love to see him try.
However, that could have an effect on his 100 meters, which I'm sure he does not want to.
It's risk and reward. Well, he takes his bow, goes around the back, he didn't want to leave. The crowd didn't want him to leave either. They're going, stay, stay. We don't care about these other people. You stay. That's a nice shirt.
Oh, yeah. I think everyone wants to swim.
Of course you do.
Like
you want to swim the 200 breaststroke set, don't you? A conversation for another day. But it is ongoing within the British fraternity about whether we'll ever see him do the 200 again. And so I would like to see him do it again because I think he would make a final. Awesome, I do. 200 backstroke for men. No British interest in this whatsoever. Wasn't in the final. Ceremony, and of course it was, as we suspected it might be, Russian domination, and one in particular who was just so much better than everybody else, you know, to the point of really being Peaty-like in terms of backstroke.
And setting a new European record.
Craig Hunter's moved from his job on pool deck to join OSV on the presentation party. He's the vice chairman of the LEN Technical Committee. Gotta get rid of that tash, I'm sorry. I did that when I was young, and I look back at those pictures and go, what were you doing? I think he'll do the same. About 5 years' time, he'll think, yeah.
You know, finally getting a medal and the shot of his life.
Yeah.
With a mustache.
Yeah, well, say, want to buy a caterpillar, go and buy a caterpillar, I say. But he's a happy boy, and I don't like them doing that. Yes, it's a medal. You might take a tooth out. Mattia Restivo, and the man who won it in 2014 and 2016 gave it a good shot, to be fair. Came back very quickly over the last 50, but he had too much to do. Way too much to do, but that was a very powerful finish to get onto silver medal.
Something that he can build on in the upcoming years to Tokyo.
So Polish silver but got to say, just incredible. One of the best swims of the week, absolutely, and we might even get a smile from him. Come on, crack your face, you can do it.
Not so much.
Gold medalist from the 200 backstroke final. Evgeny Rylov was quite superb. Really left everybody for dead at 50, 100, 150. Well, it's very rare occasions for a race like that. I can call it with 75 to go. But I think I called it with 100 to go. it was that far out that there was no way that anybody was going to get close, and nobody did. 1:53.36. Exceptional time. Not the quickest in the world, but still. A pocket of Russian singing broke out in the crowd just before that anthem came to a conclusion. Rylov winning it by big distance. I love that. Well, a lot, recrimination is not the right word, but there were a lot of inquests into that because she was getting back into form. She had a terrible year last year, a really bad year. You can park her 2017 and say, terrible year. Then she came back at the British trials early in the year, the British Championships early in the year. Did okay, did all right at the Commonwealth Games too, and thinking everything's on the upward trail, which has been okay here, but somehow, some way, that went so disastrously wrong for her.
probably already in the core room. So looking at Katinka, seeing that she is very confident, very calm.
Oh, she nearly tripped over there.
So I don't know what happened to Siobhan, but the breaststroke leg of hers was just terrible.
Well, so it did not go to plan, but let's not concentrate on that. Let's concentrate on the people who it did go to plan for. They're the ones who are about to receive medals. Sacchiotti on the right-hand side. And who have we got from Glasgow? Oh, we've got somebody from Budapest. There you are. Some of you'll know.
There he is. Yes.
Yeah. Some of you'll know.
Moving very well. Very nice person.
So, the medalists in reverse order. And she swam a really good race. Did Maria Ugorkova. Swiss have had one gold medal this week. Now they've got a bronze.
Completely unexpected medal for Ugorkova, who happens to be the same age as Katinka. But of course, her list of success is a little bit shorter.
Second place. And again, maybe when you look at the overall scheme of things, a little bit of a surprise that she's on the silver medal rostrum. Ilaria Cusinati, in fact the Italians down below us with the next commentary booth to us were standing up at the end of the 200 AM because they thought she was going to win it. They were convinced she was going to win it because it got very tight. But ultimately the experience counted and she couldn't quite make the big breakthrough because I've said it already this week and I will say it again. If she's ever been away, she is back. And back with a vengeance. Not as quick as she would have liked, but the end justifies the means. She got the win. She's got another European title. It's her third in a row. And five.
Fifth.
Yeah,
Yeah,
five.
that is fifth in a row.
Well,
Yeah.
well, three in a row is right.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah.
But you could add 2012 and 2010 as
Yeah.
well.
I don't think she's been around that long. She looks too youthful. Yeah, it's Katinka, and she's got a bit more mileage left in her yet. Certainly another 2 years anyway, as Tokyo beckons. And here, again, comes the Hungarian national anthem. Another gold for Hungary. Another gold for Katinka Hosszu.
And she was close to Kiev.
The Italian was
Quite
close to her.
unusual to her, but of course she has been through lots of things, and I know you don't like flashcards, but I think I need to read this one because there's something in it. Katinka saying, "This was coming from my heart. Obviously I needed to win this race and I'm really happy that I did it. Coming here and racing was a challenge itself, so I'm satisfied. This proved that I could race hard, no matter what are the circumstances. Now I'm more motivated than ever, and I will train extremely hard and will focus solely on swimming in the coming years." And that is bad news for her opponent.
Well, I think the whole swimming world is happy to see her. Happy, back, swimming well. James got on. Interesting look at Katinka from the presentation booth behind.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, she is certainly held in high esteem by everybody across Europe. I think there were times when maybe her previous partner turned people against her a little bit in terms of what happened on pool deck and the kind of showmanship that's going on and the histrionics that was going on. There's none of that now. It's just her swimming as she can. Nobody waving their arms around and jumping up and down on pool deck anymore.
And I think that's good for the swimming community.
Yeah. You're quite right. You're quite right. And she can constrain what she wants to do and how she wants to do it.
So let's not forget that she has won this title by only 800th of a second. And this morning, she pulled out of the 200-meter backstroke prelims. She would have made it easily through, and also she would have made it easily through to the final in the 200 meters, having a good chance for medals in the 200-meter backstroke. But had she swum that, I think that 800th of a second would have been gone. So this testifies the decision.
Where's she living these days?
Budapest.
So she's back. She's
She's
back.
back in Budapest.
Back in the bosom of her family, which is good. And back amongst friends. If we saw a shot from that race, which I don't think we did, as Siobhan Marie O'Connor, you just basically would have seen, that's the relay, but you would have seen her with her face pressed up against the block for about 30 seconds, unable to move. Like she'd been stunned. Well, she had been stunned by her swim, and then obviously the reality of it dawned. Last medal ceremony.
She just missed out by 200ths of a second of the medal, and when she touched the wall, I'm not sure that that she knew in which position she finished. She just knew she was way behind Katinka. So either third or fourth. So it could have been a medal for her, but still just looking on the wall and not looking at the scoreboard whatsoever.
So the final medal presentation, but it won't be the end of the session if there is a swim-off, which I think there is. I believe there will be. Yes, there is a confirmation through that there will be a swim-off. Hasn't come up on our screen yet. I'm told there will be. So we'll find out after this. But of course the swimmers are both here. They might have got the bus and gone back to the hotel. Can't find the swimmers. Can't have a swim-off. Has been occasion where they've done it the next morning before the session starts, but I'm sure they want to do it tonight. So Russia, third in the mixed 4x1. A medal that will put them clear of Great Britain. Italians have had, again, decent night. Hungary have had another decent night too. So there'll be a bit of movement in the medal table as we go into final day, day 7. Russians seem to be very happy with their bronze.
And that is seal number 4 for Klimen Kolesnikov.
The seal colony will be opened in Russia. A mini zoo, maybe, something.
Look at that, 3 different outfits for these 4 Russians. I just don't understand.
All the same for the the flossing Dutch.
You have to.
Well, somebody had to
train a
do
little
it.
bit.
Somebody had to do the floss, didn't they? Not sure when that's going to die out. Probably in a couple of years' time, people are going to go, what are they doing? What was that? But, the floss working for the Dutch, who haven't had a great deal to celebrate this week. But that will be a nice one for them to end this session on. Now, let's see if the winners do the floss as well. If you can do the floss, we can do the floss. Right. Got enough seals. Yeah. Just wonder if they found a seal in the open waters. A real one. Now, come on. Europe. The land of dance. You've got to do it too.
Don't think so.
Let's see. Let's see. You got some
Very conservative way of
you got some very good
celebrating.
movers. Yeah, I suppose it's not befitting the gold medalists, is it? The silver medalists can do it. The gold medalists probably not right for them to do so. France with their quartet. And amazingly, put Charlotte Bonnet on the anchor leg, and voila, as the French would say. It's magique.
Magic.
Magique.
And putting in an amazing split at 52.3. Even after the final of the 100 meters. So, yes,
Also, maybe Matteo looks about twice the size of anybody else.
probably because he is twice the
Yeah,
size of
well,
everyone else.
and also, I always talk about having Fiji being a boxer. You could mistake him for a boxer, couldn't you? Quite easily. The build, you know. You won't have an argument. I'm sure he's not that kind of guy, but you look at him and think, wow, it's pretty ferocious.
You know your feel? Oh, okay.
Yeah. It doesn't look quite right. Put it behind my back quick. All right, final gold medal anthem for the night will be for that quartet as France take the mixed 4x100 meters freestyle relay. Colleagues from French television, 2 feet away from me, on their feet, getting very excited. They've had a good day, as I say, a couple of medals in the open water, and now rounding off the program for the penultimate day with the gold medal in the 4x100 freestyle relay mixed. But the entertainment does not stop there. You press your red button. No, we're going to stay with you for the swim off. Which is still not on our computer, so we think it's happening.
It should happen, or it might happen tomorrow after the prelims session, because that is going to be a short session, only 4 events contested. So they might just put it there, but it is not on our screen yet. So it should happen either now or tomorrow in the morning session. It should happen sometime, because there cannot be 9 swimmers in the 50-meter freestyle final.
So parade around for the photographers, get to the French support, which is about halfway down the pool. So they're ready with their cameras and their flags. Russians are there too.
Ah, c'est bon, on va regarder.
So we have Russia on top of the medal table. As of now, 22 medals, 8 gold, 8 silver, and 6 bronze medals. Great Britain second, 17 medals in total, just like Italy, but 7 gold medals.
12 tonight, I'm told. Told it will be coming up next.
And France is currently in 3rd position on the medal table. winning this 4th title here in Glasgow.
So, what's it, 20 countries? Is that right?
Yes,
20 countries.
already 20 countries in the medal table.
Oh, they
There
did
you
it
go.
again. It's floss time, everybody. In the background they will come, obviously trying to accelerate them a bit because there's still some more work to be done for the judges and for the referee. So, oh, he was trying to avoid the cameraman, or not trying to trip over the cameraman, but he's got a big smile. They'll might have grabbed one quick snap before our winners move on. Dutch are hanging around 2. There they are. Good close up.
Guess what? Did you know that the flag of France and the Netherlands are pretty much the same? You just have to turn
Turn
it.
sideways, yeah. Yeah. And of course, added to the 3 I mentioned with you, so Ireland, right?
No. it's
Ah,
orange.
so I want to check your knowledge.
Oh,
Yeah, very good.
The flag of
Just checking.
Tajikistan and Iran, they have the same colors as the Hungarian.
Ah, here it comes. Confirmation. 50 freestyle men swim off. So,
Simonas Bilis, who is the short course world champion of the 50 meters, up against Andrei Kovarov, who is the world record holder and the European champion of the 50 meter butterfly. And expect both of them to be under 22 seconds.
and they've had a long wait, right? So this is like a penalty. This is what you get when you don't do it the first time. You have to wait through medal ceremony after medal ceremony, and you probably had a wish to get back early, have something to eat, maybe put the TV on, maybe watch a bit of football, whatever it might be. But you've had to hang around till 6:40 local. You could have been home and hosed. But you want your place in the final tomorrow. Bilis of Lithuania in 4. Govorov in 5. Both of them will go quicker than they did in the semi-finals. 22:04. Don't go set a European record, so listen to that, please. That would be silly. But,
That is incredibly fast by Kovarov, and he is in the lead with 15 meters to go. But it is fast.
it's fast by both of them because they both really, 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 really want to make the final. It's going to be very, very tight. Goodness me, 4/100ths of a second. 21.7, please. 21.74. I thank you. I rest my case, and good night. Now, what would that go on? Tell me where that would have got them had they swum that originally with those times. Where would it have put them? And you're going to tell me the middle of the field, aren't you?
Yeah, actually in 6th position.
Right.
Simonas Bilis would move up 2 spots.
Silly, silly boys.
Now that's what I call synchronized swimming.
Yeah, and do you know what? I looked up for a moment. I thought, no, you're not going to have to do it again, are you? 4/100ths. That's all that separated them, and we could have been going back around again to do it all over again. But as it turned out, 4/100ths, fortunately, is enough for the Lithuanians. Surprisingly, Govorov will not be returning for the final session in this event tomorrow. So we can say goodbye to the judges. They're on their way, which will signify the end of the last semi-final stroke final session here, because all finals tomorrow night. There's confirmation of the last result. And Bilis getting the better of Govorov by 4/100ths of a second. And there's the lineup for tomorrow. Ben Proud being the man to catch. 1/4 of a second quicker than anybody else in that field on the basis of the semi-final. And terrific start from him too. Vigani Morozov is in there too, and obviously will be a threat. And just confirmation of the ones who don't get in, including Govorov with that original 22:04. They both swam it. They both would have been in the final, of course. Such is life. never quite goes to plan. There's a medal table after day 6. Russia 22 medals in total, 8, 8 and 6. Great Britain was 7 golds and missed out on the Siobhan Marie O'Connor medal, which would have taken them to 18. France with 6, majority of them being golds. Italy 17, 3, 5, 9. Hungary up to 5. Ukraine 6, Sweden and Germany. And we flip it over to find out the others who've got medals. In fact, we might need 3 pages, I think, now.
Yeah, it's already 3 pages.
Yeah, Greece is not there yet, so we're nearly there. Lithuania, Denmark, Poland, Norway, Romania, Spain, Finland. Come on, Greece. Come in, Greece. It is your time.